searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, because eyes so bright.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Scheananigans. While there were certainly some moments this past week that were so bad, things are about to get so good because joining me in the studio today to talk all things Bravo and beyond, pop culture expert and host of So Bad It's Good podcast. How are we doing, Mr. Ryan Bailey?
I am thrilled to be back here. This is very exciting. I love every time I'm here and across from you, and especially on a week where nothing has happened. You have gotten yourself in no trouble at all this past week.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't. No, this is. I was telling you, Scheananigans is. If you're not listening, you got to listen to the entire podcast. But also, there's like one or two moments every episode that we all talk about for the week.
Yes.
Like you're really good, and I don't know if that's like by design. As a podcaster myself, I'm like, do you design those moments in your head, or is it just naturally those things come out?
No, I think naturally they come out, and usually they get me in trouble.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I make
Don't
good
change.
TV.
Don't change at all. At all.
Yeah, it's been a minute since you've been here. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
How have you been?
Hanging in there. I mean, it's been a rough year, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think Bravo and TV, that's getting us through.
Getting us through.
But I'm just happy to have 2024 almost over. Like, we're in the
Yes.
vortex where we're getting in the holidays and we got to plan ahead.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. I just made a list of things that'll potentially boost my serotonin. I'm hoping for a Vanderpump Rules season 12 announcement.
Same.
So, okay, well, that's a bad start right there. I was hoping you might give us some kind of news. So
No, I don't have any. I legitimately don't. People think that the cast knows. We're the last to find out.
I mean, I do know that is true, but sometimes, like, because you'll hear, these U.S. Sun articles will be like, cast in contract negotiations. We have 2 holdouts for more money. And
Nope.
No, wow.
I don't think any of that's true.
Well, and then I'm
I'm
hoping...
certainly not one of them, so...
Well, listen, I have a conspiracy theory that you are a bigger part of the Valley than you or Lala will let on to.
Ooh, tea.
I was on Jeff Lewis with Lala, which didn't go great.
I did see that.
Didn't go great. But like, those are the kind of things that I can disassociate with. We've been with you guys since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they'll make this work, but I'm hoping they do. And you're in, right? If it happens.
Oh, for sure. I'm in until that show is done. Literally, I've been a part of it from the very first scene in the first episode.
Yeah. You're the connector with Brandy, which I was on my show the other day, and I was like, God, I mean, at some point, you got to get Brandy on Scheananigans.
We've talked about it for years. Her and I have gone back and forth with each other about doing a pod swap. But it's just always kind of scared me a little, too, because you don't know what you're going to get with her.
Totally. Yeah. But run towards that fear, because I was telling Scheana, I'm on Patreon, I'm recapping Vanderpump Rules season 2, and we're at the opening episode where you have the tooth debacle, where you had tooth surgery,
Toothgate.
and Stassi, Katie, and Kristen aren't talking to
Those
you or
bitches.
didn't check in on you, and you're at the party serving, and Brandy Glanville makes fun of your tooth, and then you go...
at Kyle's house.
Yes, and then you go get sad to Lisa, and Lisa's like, "Oh, girl, you're never going to be friends with her. Give it up." And it's an amazing season.
Now we text about random things on a Tuesday.
The audience doesn't even, like, you give so much tea on this show, but I just said, like, when's the Scheana book coming? How many NDAs do you have to wait for it to expire to write that book?
Right? It will come one day. It is something I've always wanted to do. So in time, it just needs to be the right time,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot that I'll want to spill in the book.
Jeez.
So
Harper Collins, if you're listening, we need a deal pronto.
Yeah, but I'm like, do I have to wait for my Vanderpump contract to be up? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You have the contract, do you?
I think books have to go through legal, so
yeah. I mean, didn't like Jax write a coloring book once almost or something?
That never came out.
Dude, oh my God, I don't. I just remember that because I would follow him before I got blocked. I'm not blocked anymore, but I will after this. Oh, you are.
I still am. Well, when he unblocks me is when he needs to text me and bitch about Brittany hooking up with his friend. Then I'm unblocked. And then I'm still blocked on Instagram, but he unblocks my number when he's like, I don't know what to do. Like, help.
And Brock is blocked as well.
Yes.
So that's the thing even with Jax of like, so, he things happened on Scheananigans last week, which
Yeah.
made waves in the Bravo universe.
I
And
saw.
instead of reaching out to you directly, he does what I think like an Instagram story, right?
Right.
Saying that everything is content,
Uh-huh.
which, I mean, in this Vanderpump universe, everything is content.
Yeah.
But why doesn't that? My question is, you guys have known each other for so long. Why doesn't he unblock you and reach out to you and talk like to adults?
I have no idea because he's not like an actual adult, I mean, he's very immature. The way his brain works, I mean, if there even is one in there, I don't get it. Because every time he has ever, and even still tomorrow, he could reach out to me and say he needs help with something. Like, I still, as we know, am the most forgiving person.
Yeah.
And I'm still there. If Cruz needs something, I would be there.
Wait, is Cruz texting you?
Not yet. But it's like if Jax was like, oh my God, I'm in a pinch. Brittany's out of town. Like, can you pick up Cruz from school? Like
You would.
anything. 100%. I would be there in a heartbeat. So it's like, for him to then say that I have nothing to talk about in my podcast I've had for almost 7 years, I'm like, honey, I got a lot to talk about. You just happen to be one of the questions.
Well, also, it's like this, context is so important, and there are clips of these things,
Yeah.
right? Like, so this clip,
Yeah.
like that's going to get you heated, but you didn't listen to the entire episode
No.
because there's a part of the episode where you're standing up for him and Brittany and figuring out their
Yes.
relationship. And like you were actually talking to Brock, who I believe you're married to.
Yes,
and
I
you're
am.
like saying, hey, Brock, I disagree with you about
Yeah.
this, and they're figuring it out and let them figure it out.
Right. Brittany is an incredible mother, and
Yeah.
she has a lot on her shoulders right now. I mean, she's going through a divorce. She's figuring out how to co-parent. Now she has this whole big house to take care of on her own. The girl's got a lot going
new
on.
bar.
And a new bar.
Brits.
Yes.
We're
I'm
just
so
like
excited
we're
for
like
that.
a couple blocks away from Brits at Rocco's.
I know. No, that's going to be so amazing. So it's like, when my husband says something, I'm going to put him in his place, not thinking that was what was going to make headlines and,
But at this point,
piss him
isn't that
off,
the
but-
deal with like in that universe?
It really is.
Everything is content. So I
Yeah.
don't know why. I mean, I can understand it hurting people's feelings because they're
Yeah.
real people. But at this point, like, it's not surprising. Like, everything is part of your life. It's not a reality show where you're playing characters. You're actually
no,
yourself.
I wish we were. That would be fun.
Season 12 idea. Everybody switches characters.
And when's like Vanderpump Rules the musical coming out? That needs to
Oh,
happen.
Scheana, my thing, I want to do an unauthorized, well, I'd love it to be authorized, a oral history of Vanderpump Rules. Like, I would love
Oh.
to do one of those, and it would be a 600-page opus and just
Yeah.
talk to everybody, track down all of Jax's exes.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I also saw that he deleted that story after he posted it. It's like the typical Jax thing where it's like he does something and then I don't know if he deleted it because also like he shouldn't piss me off with how much I do know and don't say, but I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
I could have said more about what happened at the school that day, but I didn't. I kept it to him and Randall because it was fucking weird. This guy is going on his podcast bitching that Randall owes him money and then they're all being chummy at the school barbecue. I'm like, the fuck?
But isn't that guys? Like, guys we're so limited sometimes
Yeah.
that even when we're super mad at somebody, it was like, I don't know if you're watching Salt Lake City this season, but like when John Barlow and Justin Rose got
yeah.
together and they're like, you shouldn't have come at me like that. Do you want to have smashed taters?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't know how to communicate to each other. So they were just like,
I
we're good.
know. Yeah. But, Jax, he's a piece of shit. He always has been and probably always will be. Just needed to get that in. I'm glad that Brittany finally made the decision to leave.
I think what a strong decision. And
Literally.
just that last episode of The Valley last season with her really saying a lot
was
of things that
heartbreaking.
everybody had been saying all along.
Mhm.
I truly didn't think she had it in her. So I am so excited to
I
see
know.
this second season of The Valley and her journey. But even I think she was on a podcast this week saying
the Hot Mic podcast.
with Alex
Yeah,
Baskin.
I saw that clip.
And she just said when he was in that facility, the mental health facility,
Rage texting.
well, but like she had the strength to do it then
Yep.
because she knew he would potentially love bomb her
Yes.
when he got out and she wouldn't be able to have that strength
Yeah.
then. So that's a really big move that she did. And I'm sure she is going through so much right now.
So much. I know. No, I was there when a lot of these rage texts were happening. We were at Jax's bar one night and he's calling her. It's like 10 p.m. She was hosting a viewing bachelorette
Yeah.
party or whatever. And he's calling her and calling her.
From the
Rage texts,
facility?
rage texts. From the facility. He had his phone the whole time. I'm like, what kind of facility is this that you're allowed to have your phone. He's on social media. He's literally rage texting her daily. It was like, he has not changed.
Well, I mean, that's what I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I also want to believe people can change, but we've seen Jax through TV. I know he says he's playing a character, but I hope that month, and I hope he's really committed still to that process of healing.
I doubt it, sadly.
Okay.
You know, I hope for Cruz's sake and for it being easier for Brittany co-parenting that he has changed. But I mean, Brittany said it herself on the podcast that he has not changed. And I don't think he really ever will, because I think if he was going to, that was his chance.
Well, did Randall pay him back in the parking lot?
I don't think so. That's what it was just so odd.
Do you talk to Randall in those situations?
No.
He's like, "What's up, Scheana? Say la la hi."
Here's the thing. It depends. I go based off Lala. If Lala and him are being cordial and the girls are playing and we happen to be at a school event, I will have a surface level conversation with him because I want her world to be as peaceful as possible. I don't need him being like, all your friends are rude to me when I'm at the school and like blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, if you want me to ignore him, gladly. You want me to give him a death stare? Not a problem. If you want me to be cordial, like I can do that as well. I just go based off.
Yeah, but Scheana, don't you
she
ever
needs.
have your own feelings on something where it like goes against your BFF's like feel like, you know, sometimes you don't want to give the death stare, but you're such a good friend that you will. Do you ever have feelings like, I don't want to, it's not what I feel?
I mean, when you know how much of a piece of shit someone is,
True.
It's
Okay.
easy to give a death stare. It's harder to be mean. It genuinely takes energy. It takes effort to be a bitch. I am naturally a nice person.
And I think the audience, we have such a skewed perception of like, we want everybody to be in a gigantic cuddle puddle. But on top of that, we're also like, I hate that character. I hate what you did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want everybody to get along and come back together like a family for some reason. Which is so weird because in no reality would any of you guys be quote unquote family at this moment after the last couple of seasons, right?
No. Some of us. I mean,
of
Law
course.
and I are fam.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of the group is still together. Schwartz is around all the time. James, Allie, like we do all that group, you know, still hang out. There is still a lot of story to tell. I just don't know if we'll get to and, you know, when, if so.
Just tell me John Jansen isn't coming on your cast season
Oh,
12. That's the
God.
only thing that's.
You know what? I do want to get into some Real Housewives of Orange County thoughts, but we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. Hey, Scheananigans listeners, Etsy knows what kind of holiday gifting reactions you're looking for this year, okay? You want squeals of delight, right? Happy tears maybe, or spontaneously written songs of joy. I think that's a little bit of what we are all looking for. And in order to get reactions like those, you're going to need to make sure everyone, literally every single person on your list feels heard, feels seen. You know, they've got handmade, handpicked, and hand-designed gifts on Etsy. Etsy makes it so simple to find original items that will make whoever you're shopping for feel extra, extra special. I know everything that I have gotten personalized on Etsy for a gift is something that they absolutely love because it takes thought. You know, it's not just a candle. Maybe it is, but maybe it's a personalized candle. Maybe it's a personalized puzzle. Whatever it is, Etsy has it for you. Shop this holiday season for personalized jewelry, custom artwork, cozy style items, vintage pieces, and home decor to celebrate all of your favorite people and their specific kind of special. When Summer was born and I was putting together my list for the baby shower registry, there were certain things that I wanted from Etsy specifically. There were so many pieces that I could only find on Etsy, and my sister got them all for me. For original gifts that say, I get you, Etsy has it. And here's something I'm really looking forward to as the weather turns cooler. We've got football games, obviously. Pumpkin spice lattes. I mean, who doesn't love those? So excited they're back. And also slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, and it's not just that. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That includes these really dope, beautiful leather jackets. They have cotton cardigans, soft denim, so much more. And it's like, how are they able to do that, you might ask? Well, it is by partnering directly with top factories and cutting out the cost of the middleman, which passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, which we love. And of course, always premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. I've gotten things for not only myself, but also my daughter the last 2 winters. And the sweaters we've gotten her from Quince are literally the cutest, timeless pieces that I am just obsessed with. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. So, of course, we love that. All premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/honey for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/honey to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/honey. Okay, we're back. Real Housewives of Orange County. What are your thoughts this season? Where do they go from here?
Me personally, I would love to see this entire cast come back.
Alexis and all?
Scheana, I can't believe you would say that coming from the history. You've got to have that kind of conflict. Like, yes, I
just feel like that story's done.
No. First off, they didn't do anything about Alexis's personal life. I am not a fan of Alexis this season, nor I'm definitely not a fan of John Jansen. In fact, one of the last times I was here, I looked directly at the camera and said, "I'm coming for you, Johnny J." But at the same time, as a producer, you would say, okay, next season, we could potentially get a wedding season.
Weddings on Bravo, so overrated.
Yeah, but that,
we do not need another wedding on Bravo. Okay?
Could you imagine, like, Alexis asked Tamara to clean up after the wedding, you know?
Oh, my gosh.
No, I would say there's that storyline there, and then, of course, Alexis would then not invite Shannon on the Bachelorette trip because she didn't get invited to London. Shannon Bedore did amazing this season for everything that happened to her.
Yes.
She got everything thrown at her, and I thought she handled it with as much grace as you possibly can. Yeah. But there's a lot. Katie and Jen Pedranti, I think, are amazing additions. There is so much there with Katie. And in this first part of the reunion, there was so much information that Heather Dubrow was coming out with that I was like, well, what is the story here? But I think Katie's earned a second season.
Yeah.
Jen Pedranti sticking up to Tamara in that final episode.
That was so good. It's like, finally.
And she knew exactly what to say. Like she said, sometimes if I get upset, it'll take a lot. And then I'll be like, goobly gobbly gagoo. I don't know anything to say. Right. She nailed Tamara.
Oh, it was so good.
And that's what you root for in these shows of like sometimes the underdog being able to stand up for themselves. Yes. And where does that go next season? Because Ryan, obviously, he is getting full use immunity for whatever happened, but there's stuff there as well. So I think she's a perfect addition. I love Gina this season. Tamara, huge villain this season, but is it a necessary evil? I don't want any cast changes. What did you think?
I could go without Alexis coming back. I don't care to see her wedding or really learn much more about her personal life. I don't like the way she came for Shannon. Shannon is my girl from day one. I love her. And so anyone who comes for her, I have a problem with.
We, on the podcast, I did a recap this week, and, there was a part of the reunion where it came out, Heather Dubrow said, Shannon recommended her Colon Max to me. She's recommending things so the other ladies don't get backed up. And I was like, of course, Shannon has a personal laxative brand that she recommends for everyone, and she's not scared to talk about it. I love her. I root for her so much. Yeah. And I hope the best for her.
Same. What do you think about her and Tamara? Or what were you going to say?
No, I think Tamara already, opening salvo of the reunion, already said, I want to explain why, so immediately did what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the third episode where Shannon completely breaks down and goes, okay, you're my best friend again.
Right.
I think that's potentially, we're going to see a scene like that by the third reunion.
Yeah. Also, okay, so I don't want to mess up the timeline, but I believe the reunion was filmed before Tamara's first therapy session.
It was the week before her therapy session. Okay. Andy brings it up because she told Andy she was going to therapy the next week. And then that's when she went to therapy and then started up the whole, hey, I'm on the spectrum potentially.
Right.
And that just a wave.
So do you think that something happened at the reunion that led to that?
No, I think that season led to that. And I think the fan reaction to like, maybe
Yeah.
I should genuinely look into how I feel, how I react, or at least that's what I hope
Yeah.
happened, that she genuinely was interested in finding out how she ticks and why she does the things she
Yeah.
does.
Well, as everyone on this podcast knows, I'm all about therapy. So
Yeah, I do therapy. I have a psychiatrist. I take antidepressants. I mean, like it's a full-time job to try
really
to figure out who the F you
I
are
know.
sometimes and how to deal with like waves of emotions.
yeah, I'm still trying to get on the right dosage of my Zoloft because I started at 25, then I went up to 50, but then I've noticed I've been grinding my teeth at night. So now I'm like splitting
Dr.
the
Rifkin,
difference.
we got to get you back.
No, I just saw him recently and he wants to either Botox my jaw or give me a night guard. And I'm just like, I don't want to wear a night guard. So I'm like, well, maybe if we lower the dose a little, still trying to
Brock's
figure it
like,
out.
this ain't sexy. This ain't sexy.
Anyway. No, I was going to say something,
You
but
know, say something. When you don't want to say something, that's when you say that thing.
no, I was going to
That's
say what
Scheananigans.
is sexy is we broke our new office chair last night. So in the studio, he just put these sound panels up.
Oh,
and it's
I
like
watched the video of
the
him
Starry
putting this out.
Night.
Yes.
And so the chair that I bought a nice, expensive chair on Amazon. It reclines back. And so we decided last night to both go on the chair while, looking at what he just made. And this morning he goes, honey, we need to order a new chair.
Oh my God.
He was like, it's past the 30 days. We can't return it. And so he's like, I'm going to write a review and be like, I leaned back and it broke. I'm like, well, we did a little more than leaning.
Please have Brock use his full name on that review.
Right?
Yeah.
It might be under my account, actually.
Perfect. But use Sheena's full name on that review.
Anyway, okay. Switching housewife franchises because I saw something online. I don't know if it was brought up on Watch What Happens Live, but there's speculation that Phaedra's Mr. Chocolate Mystery Man is Jamal Bryant, Giselle's
Ooh.
ex-husband. Is that true or is that just a rumor?
I thought that was just a rumor.
Okay.
But I mean, it would be horrible and amazing for the show. And then Phaedra's doing double duty because she's back on Married to Medicine and
Right.
she's going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yes.
Coming off of Dancing with the Stars.
I know.
But the Jamal of it all would be wild. I mean, it would just,
What a crossover.
what a tangled web of Game of Thrones, like just which dot connects where.
Yeah. I feel like, is the world that small? Is the Bravo bubble?
It feels
Is it
like,
true?
well, it's like the OC. The only men available are at the Quiet Woman, and it's like Jim Bellino or John Jansen. There's no
Right.
other men in Orange County.
How?
Well,
'Cause, she had to like rename him just because Johnny J.
wait,
can't
you
get
don't know
behind
if that way, Cheetah. You don't know if that's true. You have inside.
No, I
inside
don't. I
hookups.
don't actually know if that's true. I thought you might know.
No, I don't think.
I
I
don't have
mean,
insight on everything.
I don't believe that. Waiting for the book.
One day, I will write a book. Like it's something I've always wanted to do. I will. But like, what do you think it should be about?
Well, I think it should be. Well, first off, you have an amazing history before Vanderpump Rules. We were talking about a guest that I have on this week.
Oh my God, can we?
Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but I have JC Chazé from NSYNC on my podcast, So Bad It's Good, this week. And so it was a very strict interview with like PR people. Like you get to do looser interviews because you're kind of famous. But, you
thanks.
have to stick to like certain things of like, we want to talk about this project. And luckily I loved his new musical, Playing with Fire. But I was texting with Danny Pellegrino, who got to do an interview with him the week before. And we were texting.
Yeah.
I was like, is JC nice? He was like, oh, he's great. Da, da, da. And he goes, I didn't get asked this one question. I think he potentially dated Scheana Shay or at least knows her.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to throw that in. The PR is going to be there with us. And I don't know. And then at the end, it went really good. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I said, hey, I was talking to Danny Pellegrino. Hey, is there a chance possibly that you dated or know Scheana Shay? And he paused and he was like, he goes, I know her. Yeah, I know her. He goes, long time ago. I know her. And it was a very funny, nice moment. So I text Scheana afterwards and I said, hey, random. I was just talking to JC Chazé. If I text Scheana, I'm always like, sorry to text, but.
Never apologize.
Well,
I love getting your text.
But I'm like, sorry to text, but I talked to JC Chazé and he said you guys might know each other. And then Scheana immediately responds of like, yeah, we had fun, LOL. And then like 5 minutes later, I think that's it. Scheana pulls up a photo of her and JC Chazé and sends it to me.
I happened to be in Palm Springs for just a day when you text me that. And I was like, wait, we just cleared out my storage. And I have a box of printed out photos from high school and smartphone days.
Yeah.
Because that's what you used to do. You had not a digital cameras too, but a disposable camera. And then you get it developed and you have these photos. And so I remember when I cleaned out storage, I just took a trip down memory lane, was going through this box, and I found photos with JC from 19 years ago, Ryan. 19 years ago. That's how long ago this was. And I sent it to Lance and I was like, oh my God, look at this. And Lance was dying. And so I just happened to be there. I'm like, wait, I know exactly where this photo is. And I'm going through the box, and then the amount of photos that I found whenever I
And this is
write a book one day,
pre-Vanderpump,
I'm
you
like,
guys.
these gotta go in the
Pre-Vanderpump.
book.
And so she sends this photo, and I go, oh my God, thank you for entrusting me with this. I will not post it anywhere or show anyone. She's like, no, you can post it. I'm like, hello. I was like, so
it's a cute photo.
So that
red
interview
eyes
with
and all.
JC will be out this week. So look for that photo. I can't wait. But so this is my idea for your book, is that you start with where we are now. So potentially we've just finished Vanderpump Rules, hopefully season 12. Maybe that's a farewell season. Who knows? So we start there, and then we flash back to the beginning, to like Azusa, to like the Azusa, and then work up, and then we start into the Vanderpump. I'm going to ghostwrite this for you. So we start at the end of Vanderpump, potentially, whenever that happens, and then we go into it. And we might intersperse like certain Vanderpump seasons and then go back to Azusa, go back, we can go like you and Mom getting tattoos in the first season, the whole thing,
we did do that. That was like the second episode, I think.
Yeah. And then we'll have Summer Moon write a little chapter, or maybe a foreword at that point of like, I love my mommy. Please be kind to this book.
I love it. All right, stay tuned. Well, I do have a lot of other topics I want to get into. We are just going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to get back into it. Okay, so anyone who's listening to Scheananigans knows I'm definitely not the most creative mom when it comes to the arts and crafts projects. Ever since I was little, it just was never something that really interested me to use my brain in that way. I was much more into studying. But that's why I love KiwiCo, because they have made learning fun for me to do with my daughter. And they take all of the think work out of it. They do it all for you. KiwiCo is now launching KiwiCo clubs to engage kids on a journey of more seriously fun learning. They have this comprehensive learning journey. So with KiwiCo clubs, kids will learn the fundamentals through hands-on projects. They'll be progressively building their skills with each new project they work on. You can literally watch your kids go from learning to build bows and arrows to engineering a robot. KiwiCo clubs members get amazing perks like 10% off orders, free shipping in the US, and early access to new crates. This has been something that helps Summer just discover, what she has and the skills she has to build and innovate and just have fun. So tinker, create, and innovate with KiwiCo. Get up to 50% off your first crate at KiwiCo.com, promo code HONEY. That's up to 50% off your first crate at KiwiCo.com, promo code HONEY. There's no commitment, so you can pause or cancel anytime. All right, y'all, holiday season is just around the corner, and it's time to start getting your space ready. Whether you need some new holiday decor, some furniture to spruce up your living room, bedroom, office, bathroom, whatever it may be, Wayfair has you covered. Making sure you have enough seating, warmer bedding, fun cookware, holiday serveware, decor, like I said, whatever you need. It's so satisfying also to get great deals on things your home actually needs, especially before the holidays, because we spend a lot of money at the holidays. But Wayfair is the place to shop for all things home. Everything from sofas to spatulas. It's like, you name it, they have it. We've gotten artwork for our bathroom. We've gotten seating for our entry room, my bed, the nightstands in my bedroom, things for my studio, the desk. I mean,
Wayfair literally has it all. Wayfair is the go-to destination for everything home, no matter your style or budget. Earn rewards and get the best savings in the neighborhood with Wayfair's new loyalty program, which is 5% back on every item across Wayfair's family of brands. Free shipping, members-only sales, and more. Terms apply. It's just basically everything you need. Wayfair makes it easy and fast and free shipping, even on the big stuff, and they'll even help set it up for you. So don't miss out on saving big with Wayfair this holiday. Head to wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday deals. That's WAYFAIR.com.
Okay, so I want to go back because we were just talking about Giselle and the potential if, that was her ex-husband. But I know that she's going to be on a new dating show called Love Hotel on Bravo. So what type of guy would be a good match for her?
For Giselle?
Yeah.
It's got to be a strong guy. I think she likes strong guys. Now, she went with a younger guy because she was kind of like dating Jason from Winter House, if you remember. Or that was like a flirtation with there. And he actually popped up on Potomac, right?
That's right.
And he had good abs. She likes abs.
Yeah.
So somebody with abs, preferably. But I think she needs her age, potentially, or maybe even a couple of years older. I think she needs somebody that, loves family because I think she's an amazing mom. Somebody that's open to the world, adventure, and somebody that, this is the unfortunate thing about Love Hotel, because I would imagine you want somebody that does not participate in the reality show universe, because I think that adds a lot of layers of difficulty to any relationship.
Yeah.
But
But then you bring him in,
You
Brock
bring him
had
in.
nothing to do with this universe. And then I was like, well,
but
here we are.
do you ever regret bringing him in? Of like, I'm so sorry I did this to you,
No, but I do hate the way his introduction into this world was, and now being so close with Lala, like I do wish that went differently because, once you say something, it's out there and you can try and explain it your whole life. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
I will always be a home wrecking whore.
Yeah, no, it is interesting, or
You
just even
agree?
like on a low.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Just
but that's a
kidding.
perfect example.
Right.
Like it never. But that's life, right? Like we all have these things that other people will just label you with, and no matter what the actual reality or the explanation is, they've lasered you into that position, and that's really frustrating. But that seems to be kind of just life, and you suffer the slings and arrows of that.
Yeah.
But with to Brock's benefit, like we've seen conflict and resolution.
Right.
Like he is friends with Lala now. Not friends with Jax, but friends with Lala.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, Brock would still be there for Jax, if he needed something. But it's like the way Jax is, he makes it so easy to not like him. He makes it so hard to keep rooting for him.
Well, this is what I talk about on the show all the time, because you cannot deny this man does not make great television. Like,
fantastic.
Period. But there's so many seasons of like, I'm a work in progress.
Every season.
Yeah, no, I know.
Every reunion.
Like, so and is this guy just so charming in person? Like I've been around him a couple of times, and I had a fantastic interview with him on the red carpet at the Us Weekly event a couple weeks ago, where he was like really like he knows the right things to say, and you want to like believe in him and root for him. But in person, is he just so magnetic that you just forget every bit of the last 13 years?
At times he can be. And I feel like with Jax, it's like a saving sort of thing. Like you want to save him. You want to help him. You want to make him better. Like that's what Britney tried to do for almost a decade.
Yeah.
It was just like, I can fix him, Yeah. And so I feel like as women, maybe we're a little more, sympathetic to certain things where it's like, oh, it's just Jax. Like he needs help. But
well, he
then
would
it's
do
like,
that thing in the show where he'd always be
keep
like,
fucking up.
I'm such an idiot. I'm such a dummy.
You are.
So he would say that. And I think that naturally, you're empathetic towards that because he would be the one saying it about himself. And then he would then go out and rage.
Yeah. Season 2 is going to be really good of the Valley.
Do you get into any fights with Jax in season 2 because you have so much history with him?
So speaking of Giselle's.
Oh, I tried, folks. I tried. I did. I tried.
No, another Giselle I want to talk about. I don't want to say her name wrong. Giselle Bündchen?
Giselle Bündchen.
Okay. So she's pregnant. I saw. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. So she just recently announced that, and her partner was her jujitsu instructor.
Yeah.
Right? Crazy. Okay. So then shortly after that news broke, Tom Brady posted to his Instagram story a photo of the sunset with that. Now they're called the Chicks, not the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah, just the Chicks.
What happened to Dixie? She left?
Well,
But it was the cover of Landslide. And the lyrics on it, it said, "Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child inside my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides?"
Wait, that's the lyrics to Landslide.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he posted it with
With
the
the
lyrics,
chicks.
like showing
Okay.
it. So there's been speculation that Giselle left Tom for the jujitsu instructor. Do you think this cryptic post confirms that?
I love that a football player of his stature is sending cryptic Instagram
You know,
stories.
I'm
And like,
here
it's like,
for it.
how Khloe Kardashian of Tom Brady to do that? Because I mean, just like, man, stars, they're just like us.
Yeah.
That could be possible, but also there's a more realistic thing is that, he said he was going to retire and spend time with his family.
Right.
And then he
And he
couldn't.
didn't.
He went back into football. And I think
Needed another
that's
ring.
a real, like, there are certain moments in relationships where you're like, I love this person, but that is a hard, that's a clean break for
Yeah.
me. Like, I don't think I can go back.
Right.
And, if you imagine that of like, this was a promise made to a family, it could just simply be that. And then she did fall in love with her jujitsu instructor because they potentially already had a relationship.
Uh-huh.
But it is interesting of this man who has everything feeling heartbroken or
Right.
dejected. And, we are always like the architects of our own demise in these situations. So he did this potentially to himself. I don't think she cheated personally.
Yeah.
I don't think she did.
What do you think about the rumors about Teddy and her horse instructor? And now they're filing for divorce.
So, yeah, Demois, Do Use podcast, she talked about this, that she was getting all these blind items. And I did, I'm not big in the horse community, shocking. And
Same.
supposedly that there was this fling or affair with a horse instructor or like, that they knew. And there was a big blow up at like a horse event. And that this was an affair. And this guy is, I think, married as well, potentially.
Ooh, T.
So, yeah,
Two T's.
Two T. And so that's the rumor that, Demois said she was getting tons of people saying this. And then I was wondering, like, who else do I know in the horse community? And I was like, Ariana. And then I was like, Lisa Vanderpump. Did Lisa, I've gotten you finally,
Ooh.
Teddy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but that is, and it's weird because, I know these are real people's lives, but now I look at them like, a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills storyline. Because I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're going to focus on that next season. I'm like,
Right.
oh, Teddy's not even on the show.
She needs to be back on the show. I miss her on the show.
I don't miss her on the show, but I do agree that she will be back eventually.
Yeah.
And I think it will be interesting because, this is just like Brittany going through something with Jax. You're going to want to see her go through this, or I
Yeah.
think viewers would be really interested in it.
Yeah. I do wonder if she's going to be a part of the next season, just, as Kyle's friend.
I thought she would be on this season as
Right.
support for Kyle
Right.
because I watched the premiere of Beverly Hills already, and it's like, it's going to be
saw it already?
it's going to be it already, it's not starts with a bang, but there's just a lot of like, everybody's kind of in a weird spot, and like Dorit
Yeah.
and PK
Right.
and Kyle. And I thought she might have backup with Teddy, but it didn't happen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's so many housewife franchises. It's like I'm trying to keep up, and right when one's wrapping up, I'm like, oh, cool, Beverly Hills is starting.
Yeah. And then we have Southern Charm coming back, Married to Medicine,
Uh-huh.
Southern Hospitality in the new year, Atlanta
Yeah.
in the new year, The Valley season 2 in the new year,
No.
Vanderpump Rules season 12, correct? Right? That in the new
I
year?
freaking hope
I
so.
know. Well, and I to the audience that says they're done, I just want to point out that it was the end of season 9, was it? Where it really seemed like a series finale as
Yeah.
well, where Jax is like, you're on my show. And Lisa's like, no, dear boy, it's
Oh, yeah,
my
season
show.
8. Uh-huh.
Everybody goes through, and it was like kind of this inspiring monologue about what people
Yeah.
go through. And then everybody walks their separate ways. Remember, folks, they came back from that. And you
We
had
did.
a bumpy season, but then you got the Scandival season.
Yeah.
Hey, has Rachel reached out to you at all?
No.
I'm glad she ended it. I
yeah.
thought that was the right thing
I'm
to do.
shocked that she kept it going as long as she did.
I just didn't know if she ever reached out to you to make amends.
No.
Okay.
From what I've just seen online, said that she would never speak to me again because I crossed a boundary of hers, which it's like, we're just going to have to agree to disagree about what happened that night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Wicked premiere I saw was here in LA.
Pivot.
Are you excited for that to come out?
I mean, I think we need
Did you
something.
see it?
No, I have not seen it yet.
No, like the Broadway show?
Oh, yeah, I saw the Broadway show. I'm a huge Broadway theater nerd. So I'm excited to see something like happy and kind of escapist. But it is funny how much money they're putting behind this.
Yeah.
That premiere was huge. And it was like a tough week to do a movie premiere with the
Yeah.
election and stuff.
Mhm.
So it was wild. Wait, are you going to take summer immediately?
Yeah,
or is
so
it
we're
too adult?
going on Tuesday. I think next week we're going to a little screening thing that they're doing that's family friendly. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping she makes it through the movie. I showed her the preview of it, and I'm like, oh, and then there's flying monkeys, and
Does
I'm
she
like,
get scared? I was scared of the original flying monkeys on the original
those
Wizard
were
of Oz.
terrifying.
Yeah, I was like, dude, does she get scared easily?
No, she enjoys getting scared. Like she loves when I do like a jump scare. Like if she's hiding and I come up behind her and I scare her, like she loves when she jumps and like starts giggling after.
Or if she sees Jack, she'll do jump scare and then giggle afterwards.
Right. Oh God, always a jump scare with him. But recently, see, here's the one thing I do worry about though, is if the flying monkeys are scary to her, I'm trying to like sell her on like, oh, they're so cute and they fly, you know, they're not scary.
Yeah.
Because recently she was having nightmares about bats. And
Did she watch Batman?
no, I think it was just around Halloween. So I'm like, I don't want to take her to this movie and then her have nightmares about flying monkeys, but it sounds like it's a cute thing.
How do you
set
do
up
that as a
and-
parent of like try to like decipher what your child can handle at the moment? You know, because I remember, you know, watching movies too soon and then I would have nightmares
Yeah.
about it. And I turned out then now I have a podcast, which is horrible. So like how do you know when the right thing to like, when is the right moment to show your daughter something?
I don't think you really do. I think it's trial and error. I mean, my mom took me to see Arachnophobia when I was 5. That was not a good move.
But that was actually advertised as a family-friendly movie at
And
the
I
time.
wanted to see it, and then she took me to it, and then we realized after, you know, she's like, I probably shouldn't have taken you to that. Trial and error.
Oh, I had a babysitter that came over and like I begged to see Nightmare on Elm Street, like and he showed it to me, and it like ruined a whole year of my life. Like it was
Yeah.
too early, but like I convinced the babysitter to show it to me.
Yeah. I mean, Summer loves musicals, so that's why I want her to see the movie because I know she'll enjoy the music. But if she's seeming to not enjoy it like mid-movie, like I'm just going to leave. I feel
Yeah.
like that's the way.
How many things of like that do you have to leave now because of parenthood? Like, is there like, well, we got to, because a lot of parents will tell me like that I'm friends with of like, yeah, we lasted about 30 minutes and then, or we left a concert early. It was too much.
Yeah, with the movie theater, it just depends on the movie. She's definitely made it through a full movie. She's fallen asleep during a movie. She's wanted to leave during a movie. So that just depends. And football games, I will say, are challenging. By halftime, she's over it. She knows that her friends are up in the 200 section. She doesn't give a shit about how much money mom has spent to have us in the front row. She wants to go up to the 200
With her
section
people.
to see her friends. And I'm like, sweetie, we don't have seats up there.
You
Like,
don't understand. We're getting great service down here.
No. So last time I did lie and told her that her friends weren't at the game yet because I was trying to get her at least through the third quarter. She loves going to the football games, but then she's like, I'm bored. And I'm like, well, I'm not. Like, I'm trying
I
to watch
love
the
that
game.
you made up a thing about your friends have been in an accident, Summer. They're not coming. Like,
And the one was actually, so my friend's husband is one of the coaches for the Chargers, and they have a daycare sort of thing so they can come and the kids can play and whatever. So for the first half of the game, he really was at the daycare place. And for the last quarter, I did take her up for the fourth, and I was like, oh, your friends just got here. And so the last few minutes, she got to see them. But I'm like, I want to watch the game from the front row where I have my season tickets.
well, I'm curious,
Not
like,
there.
this is how, like, things get instilled in somebody of, like, will then Summer grow up just being really passionate about football?
I think
Or-
so.
And what if she isn't? Like, will you be disappointed in that?
No, I don't think there's anything that I could be disappointed in.
Yeah.
I feel like whatever she chooses and loves, I will be proud of anything. But with football, I do hope she enjoys going to games because my season tickets, I mean, I have them for literally 50 years with the SSL, like the season seating license. So,
you have 50-year tickets?
yeah, they weren't cheap.
Okay, Vanderpump, we need season 53 then, I guess.
Need
Yeah.
Yeah, so whether she likes football or doesn't, that's on her. She also is really liking golf. I posted a video of her just smacking this golf ball. I had a friend reach out and he was like, my son's a year older than your daughter and has been in lessons for 6 months and cannot hit a golf ball like that.
Oh my God, what if she's Happy Gilmore? Like that's it.
You know?
I'm so relieved. I thought you were like, she likes watching golf. And I was
No,
like,
she
God.
likes playing golf. She likes to go to putt-putt, as we call it, the little mini golf place in the valley. She loves to go and she'll do sometimes 18 holes with Brock. Sometimes she gets bored by 7 or 8, but sometimes she wants to go the whole time. Brock will be disappointed if one day she has no interest in golf. But if she doesn't have an interest in football games, it's like, I mean, soon enough, she's going to be big enough that they're going to make me use one of my tickets for her. Right now, I'm like, she's a lap child. But
By the Summer Moon's 12 and she's still being in like a baby carrier. She has gigantism. Yeah.
I finally had to get her a Disney pass because I'm like, she can't pass. Her hair is so long. She can't pass under 2 anymore.
Oh my God. I was with my friend Heather. It was her birthday the other night. She has 2 beautiful kids and they were at Disneyland and they were going on the carousel. And sat her child, or like you were there, and you sat at Summer Moon, and she was like about to sit her child there, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me move, and she realized immediately it was you, and then she got nervous, and she was like, and to her husband and my friend Nick, she was like, is that? And he's like, yeah, that's Scheana. I was like, you should have said something, and then you offered to take a picture of the family, and I was like, you still didn't say hi? She's like, no, I was too nervous, but she was so nice. I was like, she would have totally loved for you to have said hi to her, you know? But she said you were so lovely and offered to take a family photo and the whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I was recently at When We Were Young in Vegas, and I'm following my friends just into the crowd, and then they stop. And so I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is where we're going to watch Simple Plan. And so I stop, and I realize that I've just now stood, and I have my tall, like, D'Amelio platform boots on, and I realized that where we stopped, I'm like, you guys not there's like people like, I mean, you're in a crowd, you know, you're going to be in front of someone no matter where you stand unless you're in the very back. And I turned around and I was like, I am so sorry. Because I'm like, I could just see like the headline, like Scheana Shay, rude, da-da-da. But I was like, right when I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, can you see? I just like, my friends just stopped and then she recognized me. And I was like, well, thank God.
Oh God.
But that is who I am naturally, you know? I'm like, I didn't want to be in her way. So that's funny that you said
it was, she was said you were amazingly nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about Wicked. Cynthia Erivo, who plays Elphaba, I saw that she recently got upset with a fan who photoshopped the Wicked movie poster to resemble the Broadway poster, which it brought the brim of her hat down to cover her eyes. And she felt like it was an act of like erasure.
Yeah. Like, so she said, like, I will not be, something like, I will not be erased by this. You will not erase me. I chose to look directly into the barrel of the camera and give my truth. But, and I think she was, very offended by this. But also, you have to realize the Wicked poster on Broadway is very famous.
It's iconic.
It's like the Wicked Witch, like kind of looking down. You know who she is and who she's like to become. So it is one of those artistic. Chappell Roan has like kind of some attitude like this as well.
I want to talk about her too.
You're standing up for yourself as an artist, but sometimes you got to like understand like who you're playing to, I guess. So I appreciate the artistry, and she's so talented and amazing. But I don't think that was in the spirit of erasure. It was like the spirit of Broadway fans just like loving that this is coming out and wanting to, like, we make stupid AI images of everything.
Totally. Now. Yeah. Speaking of Chappell Roan, Summer's favorite singer right now, she sings
Huge
Hot
with the
to
kids.
Go every day. We drive to school. HOTTOGO. She loves it. But I've seen she's gotten some backlash lately for a few encounters. She rebuffed fans for invading her personal space while she was off the clock. She confronted a red carpet photographer for yelling at her on a step and repeat. So I do want to note here that I know the photographer she yelled at. Like, I see her at every event I go to. Anyone in LA who does carpet, like, this photographer.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that's like not my friend, but I'm like, I know her. Like, she's yelling instructions to help you get a better shot, look over your shoulder this way. And when I was at, I think it was Miss USA, this photographer got in a fight with another photographer because he was asking for photos, but it was like her turn. And I was like, no. I was like, girl, I got you. Like, I will look at every camera. I give every
Scheana's a
outlet
professional. Yeah.
Their moment, But it's like she's not being mean or rude. She's just doing her job and trying to help you get better photos.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chapel, what an amazing album, and like the
So good.
rise of like her stardom in 1 year is so insane. So
Yeah.
it's got to be so hard for her to deal with, but at the same time, there's this industry that has been here for so long.
Yeah.
They do things a certain way, and it doesn't mean that's the right way to do things. But unfortunately, just like you say in stopping at Disneyland, oh no, am I going to be in the press for like, being rude or saying something weird? It's like she's acting like a normal person would, but now those things are then getting pushed out
Yeah.
in front of everybody. And there's this kind of now like this urban legend of like, oh, she's a real jerk. In fact, she left her management this weekend. She let go of her management. And I think it was Billboard magazine, famous music magazine, reported this. Wasn't going like, Chapel's insane, how rude. Just reported the actual news, which is what they do. And she wrote back to them today of like something like, y'all dirty for this. How dare you? And it's like, that's what they do. Like, I understand. And this industry, and every industry I'm sure has its like setbacks. It's a really brutal industry. I hope she can thrive in this. And watching her on SNL, even with that new song, I'm like, God, she really is truly amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to know which way she wants to go. Does she want to go the Gaga way, or does she want to go the Fiona Apple way? And like, just really, like, how much can she withstand in a short amount of time?
Yeah. I saw the comparison of how Lady Gaga and Chapel talk about their fans. And it's like Gaga has always recognized, that her fans are her lifeblood. They devote like her art to them. And it's not that Chapel is necessarily like a carbon copy of Gaga by any means, but I am curious the long-term sustainability just with Chapel's brand if she doesn't adjust her tone.
Well, and that's the thing too, though. But if she adjusts her tone, does that take away the magic of what makes her her? Like,
Right.
I mean, there are so many confusing things. And I would imagine in this business, you're always worried about making the wrong move.
Yeah.
And now everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody thinks that you are the cat's pajamas. You can do anything at any time with anyone in this moment.
Yeah.
And do you want that to continue and potentially get bigger? Like, I don't know how Taylor Swift does it at this point. It's got, I don't know how that's
Insane.
aspirational at all. Would I want somebody like, I mean, they're doing upskirt shots that are like walking into a Chiefs game. Like, would I? No, there's just,
No, it's crazy.
How do you even reckon with that in your head of that many people liking and hating you?
Right. And I feel like setting boundaries are definitely important. It's not something I'm very good at, but so it's like I appreciate Chapel advocating for her personal space, but just maybe work on the delivery a little bit.
Well, yeah, and I wonder what, I mean, and this is also like we're parsing out like these specific moments or a specific moment with a photographer, and then there's all these other moments where she's cordial, she's nice, she's answering questions. So there's a reason for these things, but when she was at the, it was the Olivia Rodrigo Netflix premiere of her concert film that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
She's like walking up and saying these things like, you're the one, you owe me an apology. And I'm like, sometimes, maybe that's not the right moment when you're supporting another female artist, because then that story becomes about you,
right?
Instead of the Olivia Rodrigo concert film.
Yeah. I'm curious to see it because my sister and I were at that concert, and I felt like I was filming Vanderpump Rules. There was a camera on us almost the whole concert. Like, we were like, they must be filming a Netflix special or whatever. But I'm curious to
Scheana,
watch
what
it
if
to
they're
see
actually
if we're
filming
in it.
season 12 of Vanderpump Rules and you don't know?
I didn't even know it.
It's all hidden camera.
I wasn't mic'd.
This is the Truman Show at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, but my sister was like, oh, we were right. They were cameras everywhere, but it was like, I'm like,
I can't wait I love Olivia Rodrigo. I can't wait to see.
It was such an incredible show. She puts on such a good concert.
I've seen her once,
Insane.
and I wanted to take my niece, but it was just so insanely expensive.
Yeah.
But this year in terms of female pop music with Sabrina, Taylor, Chapel, I mean, it really is kind of a great time for female pop, stars.
Yeah. Well, some, not all. I want to talk about another female pop star, Nicole Scherzinger.
Ooh.
Because not the best time for her right now. So she's starring on Broadway in Sunset Boulevard, and the performance, I mean, people are, raving about it, saying she's a shoo-in for getting a Tony.
Yep.
However, immediately following the election, she made a few comments on social media that led many to believe she is MAGA. Her fan base, the Broadway community, I mean, they've all had a very strong reaction to this. And now at Curtain Call, like, she's getting booed. So
wait, is that true? She's getting booed at Curtain Call?
Yeah.
I didn't read that part.
I mean, that's
wow.
what I heard. That's like the standing ovations are now just like people are booing her.
Yeah.
Happened to me at BravoCon. It's not fun to get booed when you're on stage. I can tell you that.
And you were a shoo-in for the Tony at
You know?
BravoCon
What the
last
fuck?
year. Wait, you got booed at Bravo? I was there. You got so many. Oh,
Yeah.
this past BravoCon?
The past one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think of the photo with Tom or something. No, I
Oh,
fully
the
got
Jason
booed.
Chambers. No, that
It
was the night
something
before.
Ariana said something. Yeah, I think it was the night before. I was in Tom's room or whatever it was, and I got booed.
Yeah.
Not fun. But do you think that reaction is valid?
Listen, Broadway, I mean, like reality TV in a lot of ways, I think exists because of the strong fandom from LGBTQ plus. You know, like
Right.
I think that's one of the reasons Broadway is so successful. On top of women, on top, like, there are so many different people that I think Broadway speaks for and to.
Mm-hmm.
That it's really hard because I have to be really delicate in how I talk about this because I don't. It's really hard because these are things that, you're going against rights of these people that have fought so hard for them. And you can say, oh, no, nothing's going to happen. But like, there have been things that have been said of rights being stripped away, or we've seen it happen these last 4 years. Or the 4 before that, and it can get worse. Those rights can be stripped away. So something like when you believe, and I believe Nicole Scherzinger has such a strong gay audience.
Oh, totally.
That then one of your heroes, one of the people that you're supporting ever since Pussycat Dolls, and like loving to see you thrive, you can't help but sometimes personalize that and say you're then speaking out against my rights potentially. And I know that's a leap. I know what I can already see comments or reviews about this, but you got to understand that's a very personal thing for them, and it should be for all of us. She actually, I think, went on to say a retraction that it didn't mean this, or you're mistaking. I just thought it was a pretty hat, but like, I don't know. It's a really rough time, and I am curious because I was really excited to see Sunset Boulevard as a theater geek, and it is one of those things that even kind of gave me a little pause of like, oh. I don't know. We're having a lot of weird conversations with ourselves this last week, I think.
The apology, did it seem a little like PR coded for you?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Ariana Grande when she licked the donut.
But by the way, the Ariana licking the donut, you can almost laugh about now. I don't know if we'll be laughing about this in like a decade.
This is way different.
Right? Like, so it's one of those. And in fact, speaking of JC, we actually brought up, I did the interview before the election last week, and we were like praising Nicole Scherzinger in the interview about like how good he saw Sunset Boulevard. And he was like, blew me away. So we know she gives this amazing performance. But I think people just, want to make sure their rights are protected, and they do rightfully get hurt.
Yeah. Apparently her team also had her pronouns added to her Instagram bio. I don't know if they thought that would help.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, she updated her pronouns. Call it off. We're good.
I've always loved Nicole Scherzinger. She was like one of my first girl crushes.
I love Pussycat Dolls. I mean, amazing. And here's somebody in their 40s, like, still do. I mean, and it is this kind of important time if you think about pop culture and the behind the scenes stuff is like her team. I mean, she's in this great position right now. Like all of a sudden people are talking about this performance. So her team is probably getting opportunities. Can we get her on a Ryan Murphy show? Can we get this for her? Can we get that for her? So it is one of those kind of times where you don't want something like that to happen, whether you agree with it or not.
No, totally. I used to have a photo of her framed in my bedroom. It was like my
now
inspiration.
you've taken it too far. That's a framed photo?
It was a magazine cover that I had of her, and it was a photo that I wanted to recreate like this photo shoot, and I did it. But it was just, Can
I go to your storage facility once? Because I still, I mean, listen, I love Brock, but I want one of those you and Mike Shea graphics that you had.
You know what? I do.
Because I want a reality show. I have a reality show museum. And
I might have one left. I think it's the bridal party one.
I don't care what I just want one of those. What a conversation piece at my home. Just be like, oh, I see you're admiring my Scheana wedding photo. Yeah,
so
that
the
came
band,
directly from her.
The 27s, they have one of them hanging in their apartment. It's me in the wedding dress. It's a red background, and they have that hanging in their hallway.
The 27s have a picture of. Now I need the 27s to break up just so I can get that photo. Which, by the way, huge here for pop music. Apples.
Yes.
APPLES.
Oh yeah, more to come too.
Are we gonna have any lyrics like a Jetta, you knew better?
There may be like a vial. line in there.
I thought we were at peace. I thought we're at peacetime.
Ew. No.
Okay.
Not with him.
Okay.
His wife.
His wife. Yeah.
Absolutely.
His wife. Yeah. You said great
Mad
things about
respect
his.
to
Yeah.
her. But he kept his back turned and was a little bitch. Anyway, okay. So I just want to get a little personal with you. So before you found success in the pop culture space, I know you were acting.
Yeah.
Is that something you are still pursuing?
Not pursuing at all. I mean, I'll get. There's something about when people like, I would have a job at this acting studio and you would work a full day, or you would take time off to go do an audition or drive to Santa Monica, which took an hour, and then you would drive back, which took an hour, and you'd have to make up that time on the back end. And I did that for like a decade. And I had like small victories, like I was on The Office and How I Met Your Mother and Criminal Minds and some commercials and voiceovers.
Criminal Minds?
Yeah. I had an
way.
episode of Criminal Minds. And so you'll had small victories, and I had a lot of bad Lifetime movies where it would be like small parts in great projects and
love the
big
Lifetime
parts in
movies.
horror. Oh my God.
Iconic.
So that was amazing, but you're kind of at the whim of whatever opportunity you get. Like,
Right.
oh, I hope I get a audition for a barista with 3 lines today. Like, you don't really get to choose any of that. And now I'm in this really cool spot where I'm not, I probably will never be rich. But I'll be able to like survive and hopefully thrive year after year if I keep trying to get better.
Yeah.
And I never had that with acting. And I think I'm a decent actor, but I'm also not Brad Pitt. I'm not this, I'm not that. Now, if any opportunity comes my way because of the podcast, I've had auditions just because somebody heard me on the podcast.
That's awesome.
So I have that in my tool belt, just like you have. I mean, we went to the same acting. I mean, you were at the acting school I was at one point. So all of the Vanderpumpers were, by the way, most of them, like Schwartz, Sandoval, Ariana. So I have that in my tool belt. I miss it sometimes, but man, I love being a fan of things. I love seeing movies. I love watching TV, not just reality. So that's always going to be a part of my life. But I truly love what I do today. I mean, it's the hardest I've ever.
Well, you're so good at it.
The hardest I've ever worked in my life. But my God, I get to sit across from you. I get to experience things that in a million years. I mean, I never thought I would talk to JC Chazé. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Digital Get Down, the man who wrote Digital Get Down?
Right? What do you think about his Meow Mix commercial?
I didn't get to bring it up, but I remember seeing that like a year and a half. I think my mom had just died, and I was like, what is going on? I was like, am I on acid? Like, meow, 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 meow. But JC Chazé, I was always a JC guy.
Same.
I like
That's
Justin,
what
but
Danny
I was.
and I had talked about that.
What
I
a
was always
strong
JC.
voice. What a strong voice. And I think we kind of geeked out about songwriting because I think that is such a gift, what he's able to do production-wise. And not to plug his musical, but this Playing with Fire, which is based off of Frankenstein, there's some bops on there. You should listen to it on Spotify.
Okay.
Because it's like it's his voice, It's really good.
Yeah. No, he was always so talented. I'm glad he's still like in the mix,
Yeah, I'm glad he, whatever happened with you guys, he got through it.
Yeah. 19 years. It's so crazy. But okay, back to the acting thing, because I did want to ask you, since I know you worked obviously at, was it coaching or?
I worked in the office coaching classes at, Leslie Kahn.
So you probably saw, so many actors obviously come through the system. Are there any that stuck out or any of that you're surprised who made it big?
No, I was in a class with Joe Manganiello, who made it big. Okay. True Blood and all that. I was in a class with Armie Hammer. I was in a class. There have been so many amazing actors. I was there when Diddy came in for coaching one time.
Oh
and
my gosh.
I remember him. He was interesting. I don't know if he was interesting because he came in an SUV and the SUV was left running the entire time. And I don't know why. It was just in case he had to leave mid-session, but he was there for an hour coaching session, and the SUV was just on the whole time. In the we're watching and we're like, wow, that's how you roll when you're rich, I guess. You would have people come in there just for coaching that were bigger stars. I remember when James Gandolfini came in after The Sopranos, and we were all just in awe of him, just watching him walk around, and we're like, whoa. And then he talked to the class one time, and he just told so many amazing stories about a year before he passed. And that was amazing. And then there's some people you're just you're an idiot. We have to tell you how to say the lines. You don't know, but they would be so beautiful that they would be getting all the best opportunities, and they knew how to take direction, just none of it came from them.
Yeah.
You know, like you want it to be like, what are you bringing to the party?
Yeah.
But some people are really good mimics, but you would see something new every day. Nicole Scherzinger would come in there, I remember.
Wow.
Yeah. Paris Hilton was there.
That's so fun.
So many wild people. Like the Dixie Chicks or Natalie Maines came through there. I mean, there were so many people through the years that walked through those doors.
Yeah.
And you see how small of a town Los Angeles truly is over the years.
And all the Vanderpump people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the pandemic happened and it was
Right.
everything changed.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, I feel like.
No, I want to keep this going forever. What are you talking? I mean, I got Leo's 50th, Sabrina Carpenter's P, Vanderpump Rules season 13.
Leo is 50. How? Like,
I know. That's it.
gosh.
When you see those.
Titanic was that long ago.
I mean, right? But that's the thing
Gilbert
is that
Grape.
pop culture is now we're like, oh God, we are getting old. Start to stretch, folks. Get on a good multivitamin because these people are actually getting older, and it's wild. I mean, he has been a star forever now.
Forever. I remember seeing Titanic when I was in 8th grade with my then boyfriend. Saw it twice.
Yeah, I mean, everybody
It's
did.
the longest movie out.
Everybody did. I mean, and I don't know. Do you have any Leo stories? I mean, did you ever date Leo DiCaprio?
I never dated him. There was one night we ended up at the same after party. I was at a table. It was him, Cuba Gooding Jr., and I forget who else. But then we all went back to like the Jim Henson lot for an after party. And that was really like the closest I had ever been to him, but that was it.
When you see somebody like DiCaprio back in the day, old Scheana, do you like, I'm going to go talk to that guy? Like, did you used to beeline for those people?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
And it was usually always successful when I did.
Was that like John Mayer? Was that the beeline?
No, he actually came to me.
Heyo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
He came back to see me.
That's going in the book too, by the way. That's going in the book. I used to run this nightclub on Melrose in 2004, 2005.
Which one?
It was called Monroe's. It's now Rasputin, but I was the GM of that place for 3.5 years. I fell into that like accidentally. I worked at Burke Williams over here at like Sunset and Crescent Heights.
Yeah.
And then wound up at this
I used to go there.
I was a GM there, and it was like a small place, bottle service, and you'd see tons of celebrities coming through there.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, I don't know how anybody in the bar industry survives past 3 years because that was ending and I was offered other bar jobs. I was like, I can't ever do this again. This is so, this is just unhealthy in so many ways. You'd be up to like 6 a.m. every night working there.
I know. It's crazy. Like those early Hollywood days for me, I feel like I don't have a lot. I have so many like core memories, but then also I'm like, there's like years of my life where I'm like, what did I do from like 23 to 26.
Well, yeah, and then there'll be weird flashes, and most people then like they involve celebrities. You're like, oh yeah, I think we let Lindsay Lohan in here potentially under it. Like you're like, oh my God, and like most people have these memories of their lives, and yours now like it's interspersed with like weird celebrities and stuff, and it just there is something so matrixy and like simulation about it all because it doesn't seem real.
No, totally. My black book is quite impressive.
That's what we'll call it, Scheana's Black Book. That's the book title right there, Scheana's Black Book.
There it is. All right. Well, thank you so much for getting into some shenanigans with me. It's been a minute. Let's not let it be this long next time.
Anytime you need me. And thank you to the audience. I hope you enjoyed this today. I know you guys are very particular, so I hope this was fun and I hope you got something. I hope you got a laugh.
And everyone go follow Ryan So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. When does your podcast come out? What days?
Every day.
Every day.
Well, not the weekends, but I do full OC recaps, full Salt Lake recaps. We have a pop culture roundup with at IG Famous by Dana Omari, who loves you. You should have her on. So she's amazing. I don't know if you follow her. We have JC Chazé coming up. We have Rob Sheffield, the reporter for Rolling Stone, who wrote a book on Taylor Swift this week. We got some really big guests coming up. So there's always something pop culture or Bravo related.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. See you next week.
I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for